Alright, I found something pretty interesting I wanted to share with you guys. It's called the Bigfoot Battle. It happened in 1924 at Mount St. Helens. There's a narrow gorge that runs on the east flank of Mount St. Helens, and they actually call it Ape Canyon. You can look that up and check it out. It's a pretty neat looking deal. A group of gold prospectors, Fred Beck, Gabe Lefevre, John Peterson, Marion Smith, and Smith's son Roy, said they came up on some guerrilla men near where they had built a small cabin for their gold hunting. They've been staying up in the mountains hunting gold, prospecting. They said that they were about 8 miles from the Spirit Lake when they encountered 4 of the giant animals. They said they had erect human-like strides. They were covered with long black hair. Ears were 4 inches long. And stuck up. That kind of reminded me of a dogman or werewolf kind of thing. They had 4 toes, short and stubby, guessing each animal weighed about 400 pounds. Scared of the beast, Fred Beck fired his rifle at one of the creatures. He struck it 3 times. The wounded animal fell off the cliff, and they believed to its death. Later on, Mr. Beck said it wasn't him that fired the shots that killed it, and if you go, and I found some stuff on that, and it's because they were threatening to charge him with all kinds of charges if they found a body. They're always either lying to cover it up or threatening to throw you in jail for exposing it. It frustrates me. Shooting the creature proved to be a mistake. That night the men said they were awakened with huge stones hitting the house, began running into the house, like with their shoulders and stuff, trying to knock the doors down. They were trying to bust through the side of the walls. They heard and felt giant bodies slamming against the walls and doors, and they were back for revenge, is what had happened. They came back for revenge for the one they had shot. After beating on the house, the beast tore a hole in the roof, and they started chunking these huge rocks down through the roof. One of the rocks struck Beck, rendering him unconscious for about 2 hours. Could you imagine? You're sitting in there and these things are trying to bust in your house. And I mean, I've had, times at my grandma's where we thought they were going to try to come in because they would beat on the house or try the door. And you'd be sitting there and we would be watching TV with my grandma. I call her Granny. I know a lot of you say it's Grandma, but she was my Granny. And we'd sit there and just watching TV, and next thing you know, the doorknob starts rattling. Or you're watching TV and you can see the light underneath her old door, You see a shadow go across it like something's walking past the door. Next thing you know, the window, something would bang on it real hard, and everybody just jumped. And it would follow you. What was weird is you could sneak from one room to the other, be real quiet, not turn on the lights or anything, and that thing, whatever it was, it would follow us on the outside of that house. Wherever you would go, you'd hear it out there walking or breathing. And its breath, to me, sounded like somebody with a cold. But Granny always described it as it sounded like a perking coffee pot, is what it sounded like to her. There's a little bit more of my story there. But anyways, back to the story. The sun had started to come up, and the beast then left. The men poked out their heads and ran. Whenever the coast seemed to be clear. Reports of the beast had been reported in the area before, so it wasn't new for this to have happened because the beast had been there. They never returned back to the cabin, so that made a lot of people believe that the reports were true because they did have a cabin. They were prospecting. That's how they made their living. So something scared them out. With all the news reports, the U.S. Forest Service decided they'd go up and investigate. The forest ranger said there was nothing in the canyon. They rappelled down this canyon, which was supposed to be inaccessible, and said there was no body. They said that the people probably placed the stones up there and made it look like something had chunked them up there, even though they still couldn't explain how they got the stones that high, the weighing that much, that no man could have done it, they said, without the help of equipment. There was no equipment. But still, men done this. A 14-inch footprint that was found there, they made with their knuckles and hands, is what they said. They said they made these with their knuckles and hands. You'll see the photo. That's not knuckles and hands. And then, they go on and they say, oh, the government again. You get into the forestry, they're into the federal, and there's going to be, they're going to debunk the truth, is what they're doing. But there's kind of something that come back to bite them. The Cowlitz tribe that lives up in there, they say, they came out, and they actually said, there are mountain monsters up here, and they're 8 to 10 feet tall, and they are often spoke about in our stories and in our our passed down to generations. They're really there. And they say, that tracks were found on the area again. The ranger said were made by knuckles and hands, but this time they couldn't say that because they were found by tourists, campers, ATVers, and other people. So they weren't able to debunk that. And what's funny, people started asking questions and wanting to see the reports that they done, the rangers, and their photographs, and their investigative stuff, and how they came up with, the handprints, and they're supposed to have done this big old thing. So whenever they start digging into this, guess what they find out? A FOIA is not going to work because they left the case opened. They're good at leaving cases open on the things they want to hide. You watch. Anything that they want to hide is going to be an open case. Even if it's solved, they say they found, what it was, like we've seen in many of the videos. Oh, it was a dog. Oh, it was, a bobcat or whatever. But we're going to leave the case open. And the reason they do that is because you can't file a FOIA on it because it's an open case. So that's their way around it. And it'll probably stay an open case until they feel like that there's no way to prove what it was. Anyways, guys, I wanted to share that with you. I thought it was a pretty neat story. I hope you all enjoyed it. Hope everything's going good for you guys. We got some stuff coming up. We're going to be going out on a investigation pretty soon. We're doing a 20,000 subscriber toast coming up, like we done for the 10. We've just been a little late doing it, even though we're way past that. So we are going to do that with you guys, and it'll probably be on the beginning of our next video. So watch for the beginning of our next video, and you'll probably see the toast. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing, and we wouldn't be where we're at. I'm just glad that y'all are with us, and that y'all comment and give us likes, and you subscribe. That helps so much. It helps a lot. It keeps us going. So y'all take care, and until next time, be careful. Keep your head on a swivel.